Hello everyone, I am the MoeChicken and welcome back to another stream. Today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. I'm going to be doing a creative stream, which is something that has been requested of me, but I've never done it before, so we're just trying this out. We're going to be trying to do a little bit of Blender today. Now I should mention that I'm not an expert at Blender at all. I got into it when I was in graduate school. A friend of mine showed me how to use it, and then I kind of took off with it after I got access to a 3D printer because I really liked being able to make things and 3D print them, and it's cool. So I don't know much about like texturing. I don't know a whole lot about rigging, stuff like that. But what I do know about is trying to make things that will successfully print in 3D. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and get started. Let's switch over to the other screen. So for the purposes of this stream, I tried to set it up so that you can see what I'm doing on the little keyboardy dongle down there. Hopefully it will work. Just let me know if it's not working, and I'll attempt to fix it. But we're just giving it a shot. I also got some music because I figured having something in the background might be nice, considering it's just otherwise going to be me talking, and that's probably not great. So also let me know if that's too loud. I can fix that. So for today, I'm going to start with a couple of basic assumptions about the people watching this, that things like how to move the camera, so about the keypad, and like I'm shifting the directions and the camera right now. So I'm gonna guess about that. If you don't, check out the buttons I was pushing on the keypad to show what I was doing. I'm also gonna assume basic stuff like how to add new objects, how to move objects around, how to shrink and grow stuff, so you can like click on shrink, grow, translate, or rotate to make them rotate, that kind of thing. If you don't know about that, that's pretty basic Blender stuff that you can find out in like a simple tutorial, and I would recommend that because that's how I started. I started off by just looking at basic movement tutorials. It's amazing how important it is to just know how the UI works, and the UI changed. This is a 2.82, I think, is the one I'm using right now. Having about whatever. Yes, I believe so. If you're starting out with 2.88, it's probably for the best because there was a major overhaul to the UI. But honestly, I was hesitant at first, but I kind of came around to it. So with that in mind, I'm going to hang on. What? Okay, my cell phone is making noise at me. Always a good thing to leave your cell phone on when you're streaming. That's what people like, right? So I thought I would start by showing you some of the techniques, tricks, whatever that I use by making something relatively simple. So for that purpose, we are going to use enemies from Earthbound. Earthbound, of course, is that game we're playing also on the channel. I played some last night, and it's got a lot of very simple shape monsters. So I thought we would do the Fabi. Fabis are this little red thing right here. It's just basically a circle with little feet and eyes, and it's cute, and I thought it would be an easy way to get started. So I'm going to put that on my other screen. I can look at it over there, and you guys don't have to stare at it like I will be. Okay, so to get started, I'm going to start with the body. Let's see. Why is my thing closed? There it is. So, yeah, like I was saying, I originally got into this because a friend of mine... oh, by the way, if at any point you have questions, just throw them up in the chat, and I'll try to answer them. But yeah, I originally got into this because a friend of mine, who I was, like, back when I was in graduate school, I worked in one of the computer labs as part of, like, my, what do you call it? My scholarship. that I had at the time. And I had one of my friends was I was gonna say he's talented at this. He was talented at just at everything. It was honestly sort of frustrating, but he was good at everything. And he knew about Blender, and one day he was working on it, and I was like, "Ooh, hey, what's that? Are you making 3D models?" And he said, "Yeah, this is how I do it, and this is what you can do." And so he kind of gave me the ins and outs, but it didn't really take off until I got like an internship to a place that had a 3D printer that was available to employees. Let me stop the story right there to point out what I'm about to do. So we in the basic Blender, you can I could choose to like manipulate this slowly over time and move things around and like add various joints and stuff like that, and it could take forever. Or because I mean we want to make this little he looks like a little ball, so we need a circle. So an easy way to do that is via a modifier. So there are a variety of modifiers that I don't know how they work, but a couple that I do know and use a lot are Boolean, Mirror, Subdivision Surface, and Solidify. And I'll try to use all of them during this so you can see how they all work. But for the time being, we're going to use Subdivision Surface. Subdivision Surface, the way it works is that it will create sort of a curve based on the joints around it. So if you have, for example, like a rectangle, it will make an oval inside of it based on these points, and you can manipulate it and move it around, and it follows with you. Also, you can increase the resolution of it a little bit more. So 4 is usually what I go for. 3 is still reasonable, but I like 4, so we're gonna stick with 4. But it's very useful because it allows you to make broad changes without having to be like really granular. So what I mean by that, right now, as you can see, I can make a large change to the shape by just manipulating a single point. Whereas if I, applied it, now I have all of these points, and it's much more difficult to make precise movements. So that's why subdivision surface is useful to have. So that's one. So now we have like our little oval shape, but we also need to make precise changes to, like, let's say we want to add, I mean, it doesn't apply here, but let's say I want to add like a horn on one side, or I wanted to add horns on both sides. Well, it might be difficult if I was to do something like this, where, I try to create a hang on, create a field, and then create a field, and like already you can see they're not synced up, they're not even. And as I continued, I might diverge more and more just because it's hard to do exactly the same thing on two different sides. So what we can do for that is to use the mirror modifier. So the way mirror works is it will well, before we get started, let me I guess explain it. So the way mirror works is kind of what it sounds like. You give it a axis to mirror on, and it will do anything you do on one axis on the other. Now, that's not like if I were to use mirror right now with the object in its current configuration, nothing would change because I'm mirroring a solid object. So it's just kind of it's a mirror on top of a mirror. So in order to kind of properly use it, you have to first make the object non-uniform, symmetric. Symmetric is the word I'm looking for. So let's remove this for right now. So what I would do is first I would loop cut the middle, and then I will remove the vertices on one side. So delete that. What? No. Delete vertices. There we go. So now you can see we have kind of like an empty object, like an eggshell that's open. Fix that. And so now if I apply the mirror modifier, you'll see, boop, now we have a solid object. So if I make any changes here, they make on the other side, and allows me to be much more precise with any sort of side-to-side changes. But anyway, since our fobby here is an oval, I actually don't need mirror right now. I was just going to introduce the concept. So get out of here. Let's see. Go away. Go away. Go away. Go away. There we go. Okay. Get rid of mirror. Good to go. So let's see. What else do we need for our fobby? We also need it to have this kind of like dimple in the middle. So we will do that. But yeah, I kind of took off with 3D modeling when I had a place where I could print things out, because it was just so fascinating to suddenly be able to make things that had always been, like text, or not text, had always been a in 2D. Suddenly I could make them in 3D, and it's like, wow. It was one of those like the world is your oyster kind of moments when suddenly I was like, oh my gosh, all these things that I've been drawing all my life can now be real. And I remember one of the first things that, or one of the things that I was most excited to make was, I don't really draw him too much anymore, but when I was younger, I had a comic book that was about me and my friends. It was a very self-centered comic book. Just sort of about, and I called it, like my adventures. And I made myself from that comic in real life. And it was like such a big deal to me when I made it. I'm like, this is so important. It's like, this is the realization of what I've been trying to do for so long, or whatever. It was really cool. Excuse me. It was very exciting to have that happen and be able to see that sort of, I guess, in reality. And from there, I just kind of took off. And I classify my 3D prints into sort of two general groups. I make figures, and I make robots, basically. Like, I am very much a non-practical 3D printer. I don't ever make anything that's genuinely useful. Everything I make are like toys. And I joke with my colleagues about that. It's like, yeah, I just make toys all the time. But it's fun for me. It's really fun to make these things a reality. So this is obviously more of a toy kind of thing. And maybe at the end of the stream, I'll show some of the other things I've made, just to kind of give an idea. But all right, so we now have our Fobby's head. So now we need to give it eyes. So to make the eyes, well, first I need to do this. Not everybody does this. I like to manage my collection set very carefully, because sometimes I have lots and lots of meshes in a single picture, and so I want to make sure I know what everything is. So I'm just going to try and keep track of that as we go. So we gotta give him some eyes. So once again, I will make a block, and I will subdivide it. Subdivision surface. Bump, 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 bump. And we need this to be small, so it has little tiny eyes. Little tiny eyes. Boop. What's this? There's an eye. Kind of make sure it sinks in a little bit, and then I will C and V, so copy and then paste in place, and you can move it over to the other side. I think I will line these up with these joints. And there we go. Let's see, are those right? Those might be too wide. Let's see, let's bring it together just a little bit. Are they too small now? They might be too small now. I guess it's okay. Oh, hang on. Nope. Hang on. There we go. Getting my keystrokes mixed up. That'll be fine. Okay, so he's got his eyes. He's got his head. So now it needs feet. But first, I will change this. This is the left eye. That is the right eye. And I will add all 3 of these to a collection. Now, collections are a little different than they used to be. It used to be that you would make collections. How did you used to do it? It used to be you would make collections a different way, but now you do it a new way. I can't remember, but you push M, and then you make a new collection, and this is Fabi. And okay. So there we go. So now we got like the Fabi, and it's easier to handle. One thing that maybe it exists, but I have not figured out how to do it. It used to be that you could select all from a group. Okay, that's how you do it. So you right click. So what's the? There's no. Okay, there's no like toggle for it, but anyway, whatever. All right, so Fabi here has eyes and a head. So now we need to give it feet. So once again, I will make a mesh. I will make that subdivided. Boom, 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 boom. There we go. And let's see. He has kind of like oblong feet here. So kind of stretch it out a little bit. Move it over. Let's see. Kind of rotate it. Rotate a little bit. There we go. Kind of like curvy feet. Rotate it up. And walk in. Let's see. A little bit smaller than that. Looks like. There we go. And then another one in the back. So that's, let's see, that's right foot, and copy paste. Nope, other one. Other one, please. There we go. That maybe. There you go. And name it left foot. Left foot. Left foot. There we go. Yeah. There we go. So how's he look? Let's see. Let me get the original picture up again. There's a little Fabi. Looks pretty good. Looks pretty good. So now I mentioned that I don't know anything about texturing. I do know how to make colors though. So if you go to the color display, you can see he's all white right now. So let's give him some color. Actually, I guess I shouldn't say him. Could be a her, could be a nothing. Okay, nothing is not the right way to put it, but you know what I mean. It's not necessarily binary. So let's give it some color. So we go to the little material section, add a color. And it's kind of like a reddish, kind of like that maybe. Let's see. Look at the picture again. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Okay. So we're gonna call this Fabi main. And it looks a little shiny. It's a little shiny. So let's give it. Let's open up our preview first. So this preview allows you to kind of just generally see what the thing you're making is gonna look like. I want to give it some sheen. So let's give it 0.5. Make it shiny. More sheen. More sheen. Get some clear coat here. Yeah, it's getting shiny now. Yeah, look at that. Look at that reflection. That's nice. Yeah. What else can I give it? Clear coat roughness. I don't really want it to be rough. There we go. Okay, yeah, so it's nice and shiny. It's a shiny Fabi. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I love making a move. Yes. No. All right. What else? I think that's probably all. I want to give it metallic. Make it kind of metallic. Yeah. I guess that's fine. So they changed the materials a little bit in 2.8 as well, and I don't know how like it used to be much more basic in terms of how you do it. So it is better that it has improved, but there's a lot of things I still don't know. So all right, so that's its main body. So that's the body. We'll give it to the feet too. Bobby main. Bob main. There we go. So there's our Fobby, and now we need to give him little shiny black eyes. So let's go here, add a new. Base color is that, but we want it black. Black. Dark black, and very shiny. Oh. That's not right. Am I doing this wrong? Might be doing this wrong. Sheen. So much sheen. So much sheen. So much clear coat. Oh, there we go. Look at that. That's a sparkly black eye. So that's Bobby Eye. There we go. And so then we give it to the other one. Bobby Eye. And there we go. There's a little Fobby. Look at him go. Look at him walking along. So let's give him an environment to exist in. So plain, big old platform here, and this is just for like display, really. That's all. That's the only point of this. Switch over to my cursor, move it up here, and add a light source. Give it a sun, a glorious sun shining down upon our Fobby, and also give it a little point color right here. Point. There we go. And now let's check it out. Render! Oh, wait, there's no camera. Forgot the camera. I always forget the camera. Every time, I always forget the camera. Which is a pretty clear indication that I primarily use this modeling software for 3D printing and not for animating. I always forget the camera. You know, the important part of the 3D printing experience. No. How do you... I can move it, I think. How do you... Nope. That's not it. Rotate, maybe? Alright, we're gonna do it from outside. There's some way to move the camera while you're in the camera view, but I can't remember what it is. That's not it. Alright. There we go. And now, go zoom out just a little bit here. No. Actually, come to think of it, there's a way to associate it with an object. Let's see. No. How do I do those? How do I do those? Viewport display? No. Properties? No. Safe areas? No. Background image? No. Shoot, I can't remember anymore. Like, there's a way to tell the camera to look specifically at an object, but I can't remember what it is, so moving on. Like I said, not an expert at Blender. I don't pretend to be one, but I just like making stuff. All right, so there we go, and now render image, and there's our Fobby. Look at our Fobby. All right, let's make him a little bit brighter, here. Power up. What's the render button? F12 is the render button. F12. Yeah, look at him. Look at his little pointy, sharp eyes. So, so now that we have it completed, I'm going to save it. First of all, save as. Desktop. Okay. And that is a Fobby. Okay. All right, so now that we have all that set up, let me group these. I like to group the environment elements together, just so I can remove them if necessary. So that's environment. Okay. Yep. So now I can make them disappear, so I don't have to look at them. So like I said, and have said multiple times, I primarily use this for 3D printing. So let's make this guy ready for 3D printing. Now, whenever you go to 3D print something, it is best if you can make one single mesh. So you don't want, for example, overlapping meshes like we have here, because your printer will try to work out what's going on there. And sometimes it can result in some sort of messy output. So the way that you handle that, or the way that I handle that rather, is through another modifier, specifically the Boolean modifier. Now the Boolean modifier is, for all intents and purposes, a shortcut. The ideal way to do what I'm about to do would be to remove points, or I'll show you. First of all, I want to fix all the subdivision surfaces so that I'm dealing with solid objects and not approximations. That's primarily to keep the original shape. If I were to combine two things and they were both subdivision surfaces, they might not look the same in the end because they're based on fixed points. To guard against potential errors, which can inevitably happen when you're dealing with this, I like to save a secondary version as just indicate to myself that this is after I have started to apply modifiers, so that if everything goes wrong, I can always go back to the original file. So now we're doing file prep. Anyway, so I got to go through and apply all my modifiers. Apply, 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 and apply. Okay. So the way the way that ideally you would do this, like say for example, I wanted to add a cube and I wanted to overlap here. What I should do, if I was going to be doing it in the most careful way, would be to go in here and delete like all of the vertices that overlap with the cube, and then connect the cube point by point. When I say that's the safe way to do it, that means that the Boolean modifier is tricky at times. You might accidentally create what is known as non-manifold geometry, which is a place where the best way to describe it is that it doesn't make sense in real space. It makes sense in the space of like a 3D modeling program where it's like fake, but it doesn't make sense in the real world because of what is known as normals. So normals are I believe it's like a mathematical term. Mathematical? Is that a term? Whatever. It's a math term that refers to the inside and outside of a shape. So if you open up a shape and you go to, let's see, view, I want to see the normals. I want to see the normals. I want to see the normals item. How do I see the normals? I want to see the normals, dang it. Show me the normals. Show me the normals. Where are they? Show them to me. I want to see the normals. How do I do this? Where's this? Show normals. Well, crap. Again, I know how it used to work, but I don't. Let's see. I want show normals? View normals? I'm frustrated. I am frustrated that I don't know. No. What are you? Where is the option in the current version of this program? Oh, we are going to find out. All right. Time to learn things. Google. Blender. No, not Bender. Blender 2.8. Show normals. Yep, there we go. I don't need a video. I just want to see it. Just show me where it is. Why would you make a video for this? Yeah. Okay, yeah. How do you display them? Enable normals. Okay. In the 3D view header, Click on the overlays button to the upper right. Access viewport overlays. Drop down and towards the bottom. Click the appropriate icon. Okay. Y'all having good? Having fun with this this learning part? All right. Overlays. Where it at? Upper right hand corner. Is it you? Let's see. Here in the 3D view header. In the 3D view header. Okay. Upper right. Okay. Where is it? It's viewport overlays. Viewport gizmos. I don't need gizmos. What are you? Object types visibility. What are you? No, that's not what I need. Ugh, even with it in front of me here, I can't find it. Options? Where is it now? Where at? Maybe I do need the video. Oh wait, what's this? This? Oh, here they are. They're at the bottom. How many people already saw this? Sorry, I'm dumb. I'm dumb. There it is. So, I just lost it. Where is it? Normals. Normals. Okay, so now you can see Blender's displaying these little lines. So in its current state, this cube makes physical sense. All the normals, all the outside normals are pointing outside, all the inside normals are pointing inside. Now, I could choose to do this and flip the normals, flip the normals, and now you can see all the outside points are pointing inside. That doesn't make sense. Basically, what this would tell a 3D printer is that the inside of the shape is everything outside the shape. Doesn't make sense. And so when you have non-manifold geometry, that's a situation where you have a scenario like this where you have an object that doesn't make sense. Which is, you know, I spent a long time trying to say that. So how that relates to the Boolean modifier, the Boolean modifier will do its best. It does its best, but it is not perfect by any means. And it can result in problems. Now, I think in a simple shape like this, we're not going to have that problem, but it's just something to be aware of as you try to work with this and more sophisticated models. So let's go ahead and make this fobby one thing. Now, the way I always do this is I start with the largest object, which is the body in this instance, and I Boolean everything to that. And an easy way to tell how you're doing in terms of making it work is to kind of follow along with the by viewing it in. I'm sorry, I got spaced out there. Following it in the sort of, what is this called, view wireframe mode, because as the Boolean modifiers happen, they will show up as part of this central figure. So we have the body selected right now. We say union, and we want the left foot. And so now you can see the body is highlighting both the body we already knew about and also this left foot section. We apply it, we remove the left foot, and now you can see our fobby body is now one shape with its foot. So we do the same thing with the other parts. I'm in the habit of deleting them as I combine them, just so it reduces strain, and especially with bigger models, like as you go through, it becomes easier to deal with it. So Boolean, union, right foot. Boop, there we go. Right foot's good to go. All right, and now get the eyes. Boolean, union, left eye. Boop. Delete, and Boolean, union, right eye, apply, delete. And so now our fobby, as you can see, the eyes changed color to the body's main color. It's all one single object now, so that's cool. So one last thing that we can do to make it a little bit nicer, since this is a 3D model, we want to make sure it can stand up. And since he's got these roundy, curvy feet, he probably won't be able to stand up. So what I often do is I will make a flat bottom by making a big old cube, making it sort of overlap a little bit so that the Fobby's feet pass through the cube, and then I'd say Boolean, difference, and body. And it, as you can see, it's problematic. So we are already seeing one of the kinds of problems you might get. I mentioned normals earlier. Sometimes when you're doing Boolean operations, things get mixed up. And it can result in weird scenarios where the system is interpreting it incorrectly. So right now, what Blender is thinking is it's trying to do an intersect between the cube and... Actually, no, it's trying to do a difference. Wait. Difference? Am I doing this wrong? I am doing this wrong. Hang on. Doing this wrong. I need the body. Boolean. Difference. Cube. Okay. It was fine. It was fine all along and I was wrong. It was fine all along. I was wrong. There you go. What I was trying to say, though, is that sometimes it can get confused and you can wind up having an operation behave differently. So if you don't know about Boolean operators, intersect, union, and difference are the three common ones. And the way they work is think of a Venn diagram. Actually, I'll make a Venn diagram so we can see. Let's see. So Boolean. Okay. Apply. So, and then let me copy paste. So we got a Venn diagram here. So the three Boolean operators we have are difference, union, intersect. Difference will take the difference to the object that you are selecting with the object you are using as the modifier. So in this instance, if I said cube 002, Boolean, difference, cube 001, you can see it cuts away the part where this one overlaps with this one. If I said intersect, it takes the parts where that they have in common. And if I say union, it takes everything from the original and also everything that overlaps. So union and difference are the ones I typically use. But if you have an error, sometimes it'll wind up acting like an intersect or a union or whatever, and it can be a real mess. But in this instance, our Fobby's being a good boy. So go ahead and apply that. Apply it, delete the cube. And now you can see we have a flat bottom for our Fobby, so it might properly stand up. So there he is. There's a little Fobby. Looking pretty good. Looking pretty good. So the last thing you have to do before you can go to 3D print it, you want to make sure that you do this. Let's see. I don't need to see those anymore. Hide those. Very good. Switch to that and go up to select up here. Select all by trait, non-manifold. So as you can see, it says nothing selected. That means that the entire shape is manifold, which is great because that means it will print properly. That's really good. So now it's all manifold. We can go ahead and export it. So you go up to File, go down to Export, STL right here. STL is just one of the more common 3D modeling software importable file types. It's like a standard. I think OBJ is the other one, but the printers that I use have always been fine with STLs. And something that can be problematic sometimes, if you have a file where there's like a lot of things, like I have, the entire environment, you want to make sure that you click this little selection only, so that you only get the thing you're actually interested in. So export STL, it will export it to wherever you tell it to. And now, let's see, you can see right here, we have our little Fobby. He's good to go. So you can sync it up with whatever software you use. I use Cura. If you guys are interested in seeing that, I can show you how to send it or whatever. I mean, you'll have to actually you'll have to make Cura work on your computer with your printer first, but I can show you how that works. I mean, I could show you how sending it works. I can't set up your printer for you. I'm sorry. But anyway, yeah, so that's how I would make a simple model. So that's model number 1 for this stream. The other thing I'm going to make is a little bit more complicated, but not too terribly much. So a friend of mine, part of the reason I'm doing a Blender stream for my first my first creative stream is that a friend of mine wanted to know how to make prop weapons. So he's trying to figure, like, he's into D&D, and he wanted to know how to make various like items that could be used with a D&D game. Like, say you want to give, like, you want to have, like, show like this puzzle or something that the adventurers had to figure out, but they were like, we can't figure out how. You're describing it to us and you've like drawn pictures, but I don't know what it is. And you could just like pull it out and be like, this is the puzzle. So we wanted to know how to do that. And I said, that's fine. I can show you what I know how to do, and maybe it'll work. So let's go ahead and get a new general save. And they always give you a camera, a light source, and a mesh, and I always immediately delete them. You don't have to do that. You can keep them. There's no reason to delete them. I just don't like having them there. I'd rather make it all myself. But for the purposes of showing how to make props, he asked me to make this Naruto guy's knives. I don't know who this is. I don't watch the show. So he's Naruto man with knives and bracelet. So I'm going to be trying to make this knife. Let's see, there's the knife, and then it, like, from what it looks like, it's just sort of a hand-sized knife with knuckle guards and like a blade all the way along the front of it. I don't know what the handle looks like, unfortunately, so I'm just gonna have to guess it's like a kunai, and it's just kind of like flat on the backside. But I'm gonna attempt to make this. So move them back over here so I can see them and you can't. But I also still want to be able to see you guys in case you have anything to say. Okay, there we go. So to start with, let's start with a mesh. And we need to make it very tall. Now, one thing that is an issue with the way I make a lot of things is that I don't really use real world measurements very much. Like, these increments are, you know, based on an actual measurement, but oftentimes I just make it in 3D space and then enlarge it when I actually get to the 3D printing software. That's my preference, but I can totally understand people wanting to make sure it makes sense in real life, so, you know, you do you. But I think the way we're going to do this is I will first make the blade, and then I will boolean the blade with the handle. So let's start with the blade. So looking at this thing again, it looks like it's a pretty simple, like, long triangle with a flat back. So let's do that. All right, let's tab, do this, open it up a little bit. We don't want it too sharp on the top because it is a prop weapon. So let's kind of, let's make it like that, maybe. And I will add like a little tip to it. Oh, I guess I should mention that what I just did there is called a loop cut. It's a Control R. Very, very useful. It tries to make a continuous line around the entire object, you know, where it is. So it will often make it at the middle, which can be very, very helpful. And it's just a good thing. The other way you would do it is you would have to like make, like, if I wanted to say make a line across here, I could do this. I could click these two and I right click, subdivide, and it would put a line between them. That works, but it makes a little bit, it can make problems down the road because the entire shape isn't integrated. So it's kind of up to you. I like to use loop cuts where I can. So we've got like this. Now we loop cut the middle, and I'm going to enlarge it to give it kind of a little bit of a blade here. Let's see, pull you out a bit. So that's the sharper edge. Dull the backside. Dull the backside. Bring the point more in line with the middle. Boop-a-doop. Right there. This would be a good situation to use. Actually, yeah, let's do that. I was gonna say this would be a good situation to use the mirror modifier, since we want it to be even on both sides. Oh wait, hang on. First do that. Oh, so here's another little tidbit that's helpful. You can set up keystrokes in Blender, like custom keystrokes, as you might expect. And one that I have found immensely useful is to have a keystroke for switching between the 3 selection types, which are vertices, in which the default is to click vertices, lines or edges, in which the default is to click edges, or faces, in which the default is faces. I have those set to 1, 2, and 3. Immensely useful. And if anyone's interested, I can try to show you some other time. I'm not going to get into it this particular stream, but that can be really useful because it just allows you to switch between them very quickly. All right, so now we have this. Let's add a mirror modifier. So now anything we do on one side will be reflected on the other, and that's very helpful for me. So let's kind of move this point up here a little bit. Or move, let's see. It's a blade. So this is going to go up to the top. That. Bring you down a little bit. And also bring this up. So it's a flat bottom right there. There we go. So how long is this thing? It's pretty long. It's curved too, right? Let me switch back. Are these curved, or is it just the viewpoint? So like in this one, it looks kind of like it's curving away. I'm gonna guess it has some curve to it, so let's add a little bit of curve. So there are kind of 2 ways you can do this. If you want a genuine like smooth curve, you could use a subdivision surface. I'm gonna go for kind of a rough curve, meaning I'm just gonna loop cut a couple of times and just pull it back. So select this and switch over to the this is called proportional editing. So this will allow you to edit multiple things based on this little circle that I'm manipulating right now. And one thing that I've never really understood about Blender is that they made it so that the proportional editing requires you to hold down left click and also move the what is it called? Mouse, like the scroll wheel at the same time. I don't get that. That seems like a strange situation to me, but that's how they did it. Actually, no, come to think of it, that's not how they did it. That's how I did it because I changed my settings. Oops, never mind. Blender, you're great. Thank you, Blender Foundation. You're great. I forgot that was me that did that. So never mind. It's not ideal. It's not ideal. Usually I have to use 2 hands with my mouse to make that work. But yeah. Anyway. I sound foolish now. Oops. That's not new though. I often sound foolish, so it's okay. Alright, so now we've got our kind of curving. It's a little wonky. Maybe I should do a subdivision surface. Let's extend it a little bit. Extend you. Let's just see how subdivision surface will look. So boop. Now something I should mention about the modifiers. They are displayed in order from top to bottom. So in this instance, as you can see, since the mirror is being displayed now, it is, you know, it looks the same on both sides. If I were to remove the mirror, boop, it would no longer show the mirror effect. Or if I were to move the subdivision surface up, it would be showing the mirror second. It's just sort of something to know, like, especially with one of the other modifiers that I will show you in a bit. It can be really useful to know who's being applied first, because it just it might change the final outcome. And I guess it looks okay like this, but the blade's not very sharp. So one thing you can do with to make a sharper edge in subdivision surface is to add an extra loop cut close to the point that you want to make. So now you can see the edge is actually an edge rather than sort of a rounded point. Likewise, if you have, like, I've got this kind of round bottom, I don't really want that. So I make a loop cut and I bring it down to the bottom and it kind of flattens that out. So now I've got like a good shark's fin that has like this nice curve, but also has like a flat bottom. Just little tricks, little tips and tricks. Let me also make the other edge hard. So we do this. There we go. So now it's got like a hard edge. Okay, so that will do for now for our blade. So blade, good. And I should save this. That is a major problem I do. Funky kunai. There we go. Yeah, I will often forget to save things. And I can't tell you how many times something has crashed and it hasn't worked out so well for me. So, all right, so we have our blade. Now we need to make our handle. Let's move this up, but up. So how do I want to do that? So it looks like in this picture, he has, it's like a series of loops around the fingers. So 4 loops and like kind of a flat back. So let's try to make something that looks like that. Let's make a cube, blow it up. And we will begin to manipulate it. So yeah, I was speaking earlier about the idea of practical prints versus I guess impractical prints, or like toy prints. I have seen some really impressive things from the other coworkers at my place of business, where they just made these like really neat practical prints. And I'm always so impressed with not only the like how successful the prints are, but also the ingenuity involved. That's just 3 fingers. I need extra fingers. Like for example, one of the people that I admire, he's very very good at what he does. He made, like, he was trying to solve a problem where he had oh wait, did I do too many? I did too many. All right, remove that. He had a problem where he needed to take like eye drops every day at different times of the day, and he would keep the eye drop liquid in like his shirt pocket, but he found that it kept on it kept spilling in his shirt pocket. It was really frustrating because he was like, I don't want to wind up with with my shirt wet because I have to carry on these eye drops. And he figured out that the reason was that the cap leaked, and so if they were not in a straight up pose, they would it would leak out. And so what he did, which I thought was really clever, he made a he measured the base of the container. Hang on, let me look at this again. Okay, so look at you. All right. All right, all right. So it kind of slopes towards the blade a little bit. Okay, good deal. He made like a little. He measured the base of his bottle, and he measured the width of his shirt pocket, or like the standard width of his shirt pockets, and he made like a little like a stand that the water bottle would fit into, that would not take up too much space in his actual pocket. And what was even cooler is that he made the shape of, like, if you were to look at the base of the item, it looked like an eyeball. It was just so neat. I was like, wow, that's really clever. Not only did you solve your problem, you also did it in a way that's like elegantly designed. Just really, really cool stuff. And then there was another guy who he was apparently, I think it was his daughter, was really into what do you call it, cosplay, and she needed ways to make like armored pieces without actually having like some sort of armory. And he found various ways to like try to make that a reality. And one of the things he did, like he was trying to make a chainmail, and he laid out the design for the chain, or not chainmail, like plate mail, like plated mail. Actually, let's do this. Let's go ahead and use that little mirror modifier again. It helped us before, it will help us again. Delete vertices. The mirror. There we go. Yeah, so he made like he laid out the plates. So it was a series of hexagonal plates that were kind of together, and he set up a print for that. And then like halfway through the print, he paused it and put down some plastic mesh, like some just thin plastic mesh. And then he started the print again. And when it was finished, the mesh was incorporated into the finished object. So he had this like flexible mesh with these hexagonal plates fixed into it. And it was just so cool. I was like, I never would have thought of such a clever use of this this technology. So some people really have their act together when it comes to making this stuff work. All right, so here's an example of a situation where it is more beneficial for me to not use the loop cut. So this, so divide, and this way I will only affect the backside, so I can keep this kind of looped part in the front. There we go. See? So you just got to use your modifiers and in clever ways, and you get used to it. You know, it's just practice. It's just using it a lot, and you kind of figure out what works, what doesn't, that kind of thing. So let's make these a little bit sharper. Let's also bring this down a little bit because it's kind of weirdly up. Go down a little bit, and you too. Also go down a little bit. There we go. And there we go. I want these to be like flat if I can. Is that? Yep. But you see right there, that's an instance of what I was talking about with, once you've started to do this kind of thing, it confuses the program later, so you just have to be aware of that as well. So that one's going to give us a little bit of fits, but the others should still be fine. Make that and that and babadaboo and babadaboo. All right, so now we've got sort of our basic shape down. Let's look at the picture again. That's not the picture. That's the picture. So looks like the bottom is more flat than I have it. No, that's not what I'm looking for. Yeah, the bottom is kind of flat. So let's make that happen. So I will loop cut And I will do this. Flatten that at the bottom here. Bring this part down. And you know, it's very convenient that we have the mirror set up so we don't have to worry about the other side. We can be confident that it's reflecting the changes. There we go. That's a little bit better. Now we need to pull back so it turns into a blade. So I will grab these. Actually, let me grab these parts. This. You, and you, and you, and you. You, and you, and you, and you, and you, and you, and you. All of you. Pull back. There we go. So now it's like a sharp blade. That's cool. So not last but not least, we need to add the holes for the fingers. And once again, we are going to use the excuse me. We're going to use the Boolean modifier. So I'm just going to make a bunch of cylinders. Well, hang on. Before we do that, this doesn't look like the right proportions. So let's switch back to this. Yes, the blade definitely needs to be longer. Actually, just generally needs to be bigger. So let's make it bigger. That. Let's see. It's about half and half, right? Half. Yeah. Blade's a little bit longer. Let's see here. Okay, so it pulls back. So we need to kind of pull the blade back a little bit. So let's see. So take the parts in the front. Grab these guys. Drag them back a little bit. Sort of like that. Maybe pull this forward a little bit so the blade's a little cleaner. Bump, and bump. Now this is a little wonky. Just a lot of tweaking. A lot of tweaking is involved with making models. Okay, well, it's looking better. Looking better. Let's look at our source material again. Okay. Yes. Does it have a big divot in the back? I can't see that, but it looks like it kind of has a bit of a part going back a little bit here. So let's add that in. So that would be right around here. Let's pull you back. Pull you back. I will often switch to wireframe mode to get really to get specific lines. That's just useful. Alright. I want to be a sharper divot than that. Such that. That might be too much. Let's see. Well, maybe not. Maybe it's okay. Maybe it's okay. Let's bring it up a little bit. I'm not happy with it. Let's bring it up a little bit. Bring it forward just a wink. Just a wink. There we go. Alright, much better. Okay, so now we have our basic shape down. Go ahead and save. Let's combine these two into one mesh again. So first we will need to take the blade. Forgot to call this handle, but whatever, I'm about to get rid of it. Let's apply the mirror first. Apply, and then apply. Then you apply the mirror first, apply, and then apply. And now combine the two into one. Union. Cube. There we go. Apply. So now we have a single continuous object. Awesome times. Very good. So now, last but not least, we need to give it finger holes. So, I will need some cylinders, please. Rotate it. Rotate it. And make it expand it. You always want to make sure, if you're going to be punching something out, that it does clearly go all the way through. It just makes sure there's no weird issues at the end. So do that. I'm going to need a bunch of these, so copy and paste. These are a little bit too big, I think. Let's see. All right. Shrink you down just a bit. One of the problems with working with any sort of object that needs to make sense in the real world for me is that since I don't really work with real world units, it can be very hard to figure out if it's the right size or not. So I'm just kind of hoping that this will work with like a finger, but I don't know for sure. So that's a place where learning how to do it with real world units would be a lot more useful. So I implore you to learn how to do that, but I don't know. So there you go. I think I'm also going to make it slightly indented. So we are going to do this. We are going to do this. Take you. Go to, I'm going to make it invisible for right now. It's easier. Go in. Loop cut. Good old loop cut. Get rid of these. Nope. B. Get out of here. Vertices. Use our mirror. Oh, I know it. So the mirror works off of the center of the object. So since I did not recenter this object's origin, it was confused. So is that the center of mass? Really? Oh, wait, yeah, it is, but that's right, I gotta go back. Alright, so at this point, now I center the mass. Origin. Center of mass. There we go. Got confused. Delete these. Get out of here. Now we do the mirror. And it's still wonky? Oh, I know why. I know why. Wrong vertex. Or wrong axis. There we go. Okay, so we got that. Let's make it slightly indented. It'll make the thing look a little bit nicer. Expand it. No, not like that. Not like that. Expand it just a little bit. You. All of you. Increase in size just a bit. Did I do this right? No, it's backwards. We gotta decrease in size. Right. So, select these. No, and shrink it down a little bit here. So what this will do is when we go to cut it out, it will kind of give it a bit of like a bevel in, which is just nice, you know. It's just nice. Let's see, let's go ahead and apply. Oh, never mind. Let's apply. And then we will do the same for the center. For the center. So that it's clean all the way through. So now when we cut it out, it will have kind of a little bevel, which is just, you know, more comfortable, pretty much. So copy, paste. Copy, paste. And copy, paste. There we are. And so now we just got to punch these out. Boolean. Punch. Boolean. Punch. Yep. Disappear. Boolean. Punch. And we remove all of these. And there we go. See? And you see it's got that little... Well, not on the top one, but the others have like a little bit of a bevel, which is just kind of nice. So yeah, there we are. There's our little funky kunai. And again, I won't know really how big to make it because I don't know much about dealing with units, but that's something you could figure out when you go to print it, or if you want to find out inside of Blender. It does support it. I just don't know how it works. So I think that's going to be about it. I just kind of wanted to get on, do a little bit of creating, and show off how to, my meager knowledge of Blender. If this was interesting, let me know in the future. I can make more stuff. If you have recommendations for things you'd like to see made, I can go ahead and give that a shot as well. Just send me a message, put it in the comments of this video when it's on YouTube, whatever. But this is gonna be it. So thank everybody that showed up. Thanks for stopping by. It was a short stream, but hopefully it was entertaining. And I'll see you next time. Once again, I'm MoeChicken. Thanks for stopping by.